the Herald of Galactus. When readers think of Marvel's cosmic pantheon, names like Galactus, Eternity, or the Living Tribunal come to mind. But one of the most enduring figures in Marvel's cosmic storytelling is not a god, but a man who sacrificed everything to save his world, and in doing so became one of the most powerful beings in existence. Norrin Radd of Zenn-La, transformed into the Silver Surfer, is both a weapon and a wanderer, a philosopher and a warrior. His story is not just about power, but about morality, guilt, and the eternal search for redemption. To understand the Silver Surfer is to understand Marvel's exploration of the infinite. Origins on Zenn-La. Before the gleaming figure we know today, Norrin Radd lived on the utopian planet Zenn-La, a world without hunger, war, or conflict. Yet, for all its peace, Norrin longed for meaning beyond comfort. His people had grown stagnant, too content with perfection, while he dreamed of exploration. That dream turned to desperation when Galactus, the devourer of worlds, set his sights on Zenn-La. To save his home and the woman he loved, Shalla-Bal, Norrin offered himself to Galactus. In exchange for sparing Zenn-La, Norrin would serve as his herald, scouting worlds for his master to consume. Galactus accepted, imbuing Norrin with the power cosmic and binding him to a surfboard-like construct that allowed him to traverse galaxies. In Fantastic Four, number 48 to 50, 1966, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby introduced the Silver Surfer in what would become known as the Galactus Trilogy, one of the most important arcs in Marvel history. In just 3 issues, Marvel expanded its scope from street-level heroes to the scale of the cosmos. The power cosmic. The transformation gifted Norrin Radd abilities that placed him among the most powerful beings in Marvel's universe. The power cosmic enhances his body to near invulnerability, allows faster-than-light travel, and gives him mastery over energy and matter. The Surfer can manipulate atoms, heal the injured, and absorb or release energy at cosmic levels. He can create force fields strong enough to withstand supernovas, and his energy blasts have rivaled some of Marvel's most powerful characters, including Thor and the Hulk. His board, an extension of himself, responds to his will instantly and can carry him across galaxies in moments. But perhaps the most overlooked ability is his perception. The Surfer can sense disturbances in the fabric of reality, track life forms across interstellar distances, and comprehend the universe in ways far beyond human understanding. This isn't raw power, it's awareness. The power cosmic makes him both warrior and philosopher, a man constantly confronted with the enormity of existence, the tragic servitude. As Herald, the Surfer's task was horrifying, to seek out worlds for Galactus to consume. At first, Norrin justified his service by choosing uninhabited planets or worlds he deemed unworthy. But the more he traveled, the more civilizations he saw fall. His guilt deepened until his encounter with Earth in Fantastic Four number 48 to 50. There, he discovered humanity's resilience and compassion, embodied in Alicia Masters, the blind sculptor who saw in him not a monster but a man. Inspired by her, the Surfer turned on Galactus, joining the Fantastic Four to repel the Devourer. Though they succeeded, Galactus punished his betrayal by exiling him to Earth, surrounding the planet with an invisible barrier that prevented him from leaving. For years, the Surfer was trapped, unable to return to Shalla-Bal, condemned to wander a world that both feared and distrusted him. His solo series in the late 1960s captured this tragedy, with Stan Lee writing him as a Christ-like figure, a being of immense power, suffering loneliness and persecution despite his noble heart. Cosmic defender and philosophical hero. Once freed from his exile, the Silver Surfer became a recurring figure in Marvel's greatest cosmic events. But unlike many heroes, his role was rarely that of a conventional warrior. The Surfer often served as Marvel's conscience, a character who questioned the morality of battles even as he participated in them. In Silver Surfer Parable, 1988, written by Stan Lee with art by the legendary Mobius, the Surfer confronts Galactus when the Devourer poses as a god on Earth, demanding worship. Rather than defeating him through force, the Surfer inspires humanity to reject Galactus's false divinity, proving that the strength of free will can oppose even cosmic hunger. This story encapsulated the surfer's essence, not a fighter seeking glory, but a philosopher forcing readers to reflect on faith, freedom, and morality. In major crossovers like Infinity Gauntlet, 1991, the surfer plays critical roles. He is the one who warns Earth's heroes of Thanos' acquisition of the Infinity Gems, and he is one of the last standing against the Mad Titan's wrath. Later, in Annihilation, 2006, he becomes a key general in the war against Annihilus, even briefly resuming his role as Herald of Galactus to protect the universe. The surfer is also central in the Thanos Imperative, 2010, helping resist the Cancerverse invasion. Across these arcs, the surfer consistently operates at the scale of galaxies, yet his perspective always brings the stories back to questions of morality, sacrifice, and the value of life. Shalla-Bal and the theme of loss. One of the most tragic elements of the surfer's mythology is his love for Shalla-Bal. Though she survived Galactus' attack on Zenn-La, the surfer's exile and duties meant they could never be together. Over the years, writers revisited their relationship, often cruelly. In some stories, she becomes Empress of Zenn-La, and in others, she is taken from him or manipulated by enemies who use his love as a weapon. Their romance reflects one of the surfer's defining traits. He is a man who sacrificed personal happiness for the survival of others, condemned to wander the stars with eternal longing. His loneliness is as much a part of his character as his powers, and it makes him one of Marvel's most human cosmic beings. Modern interpretations. In recent years, writers have experimented with different tones for the Silver Surfer. Dan Slott and Mike Allred's Silver Surfer, 2014 to 2017, reimagined him in a Doctor Who-like light, pairing him with a human companion, Dawn Greenwood, for whimsical multiversal adventures. While lighter in tone, the series still carried deep emotional resonance, exploring the surfer's guilt and longing through his bond with Dawn. At the same time, more serious arcs like Silver Surfer, Black, 2019, by Donny Cates and Tradd Moore, leaned into psychedelic art and cosmic horror, depicting the surfer battling Null, the god of symbiotes, while transforming into a darker black surfer form. These modern stories prove the flexibility of the character. He can be tragic, hopeful, cosmic, or intimate, always reflecting Marvel's willingness to use him as a canvas for big ideas. Legacy? The Silver Surfer endures as one of Marvel's most unique creations. Unlike many heroes defined by victories, his stories are defined by questions about morality, free will, sacrifice, and loneliness. He is a wanderer, a herald, a philosopher, and at times, a godlike force of nature. His power places him among the greatest beings in Marvel, but his humanity makes him endlessly relatable. Whether warning the Avengers of Thanos, fighting alongside cosmic armies in Annihilation, or quietly mourning the love he can never have, the surfer is always caught between duty and freedom. As Marvel moves toward introducing Galactus and the Fantastic Four in the MCU, the surfer's return to mainstream culture is inevitable. And when he arrives, he will remind audiences why some of the greatest stories in comics aren't about saving cities or even planets. They're about the cost of carrying the universe on your shoulders. And that is the story of the Silver Surfer, a man who gave up his freedom to save his world, and in return gained the burden of infinite power. He has been a herald, a savior, a rebel, and a wanderer. But above all, he has been a voice of conscience in the Marvel Universe, asking the questions most heroes cannot. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the surfer's history and powers, make sure you subscribe to Explained Comics and turn on notifications, because we'll continue exploring Marvel and DC's greatest cosmic stories, characters, and events. And I want to know from you, what's your favorite Silver Surfer story? The Galactus trilogy, Infinity Gauntlet, or maybe Parable? Drop your answer in the comments, and your pick might be featured in a future video. Thanks for watching.